As my wife says, it's cold as a dick dog out. Man. Holy cow. Well, I'm recording this on a Sunday. But I have nothing deeply spiritual. Sometimes we do these kind of spiritual vibey videos on Sunday. And I have been reading a lot of Joel Goldsmith recently. Sometimes we like to read Goldsmith on Sunday on these car vids. But no, the reason I'm making this video is just, I would kind of say this is like a quick reminder. And many of you watching this channel already know this, right? But the quick reminder is this, that when it comes to, applying these spiritual ideas in our life, these law of assumption, law of attraction, manifesting ideas in our life, you really want to be aware of who you're talking to about it. If you're talking to anybody about it, who you're interacting with, in terms of who you're seriously discussing it with. And I say this, unsurprisingly, just because I've been putting these posts on the main Neville subreddit. Cecilia and I have infiltrated. That's my word, not hers. I've at least infiltrated the Neville subreddit again. And Cecilia's posting on there as well. I am on there just to get people off of there, to be blunt. But, I noticed that insane comments and just the insular quality of the discussion on there. And I'm thinking to myself, why would I trust these people who I don't know, with these random ass Reddit names, to give me advice or bounce stuff off of in regards to this information? Why would I trust them unless they provide some kind of sane, rational insight and have thoughtful, respectful comments? But that's how the entire subreddit goes. It's 80% plus of it are just these insane commenters saying stupid things. And same with YouTube comments when it comes to this stuff. And I assume I don't really do Instagram. Let me know if I should make an Instagram account. Maybe I'll do it. But just in general, the social media commentary about this stuff is not how you should be talking to people about your spiritual or manifesting practices. Period. You don't want to be talking to people online, in a forum, about this stuff unless you really respect their judgment. And in that case, you should be probably private messaging them. The reason that, I text with, Cecilia and Maggie is because, I trust their judgment. And I know I can actually bounce things off of them and get, a respectful, sane response. Now, I'm fortunate to have that. A lot of people do not have that. For a long time, I did not have that. And I totally understand why people join Facebook groups or, go on Reddit or go on YouTube and talk, in the comments to try to bounce stuff off of each other, because you want that communication. But what I'm telling you is that communication is bullshit most of the time. It's not with people who are fucking sane about this shit. And obviously going back on Reddit, which Cecilia and my idea of creating our own subreddit page that sanely discusses this stuff seems more unlikely by the day. Going back on Reddit, you really see that. You see how insane the commentary is. And really the word that comes up for me about the Neville subreddit, besides crazy or mentally ill, the other word that comes up is insular. Because there's all these great ideas that Neville shared, right? Obviously, I love Neville. But the subreddit is just looking at everything through his ideas very dogmatically and rigidly, and not looking at, Neville's stuff in a more open way, let alone the history of New Thought or early 20th century psychology, Emile Coué, etc. They're not looking at that stuff. They're just looking through Neville in this very myopic way, very insular way, like a small provincial town that's scared of everybody else. So all you Reddit users who are watching this video, if you're there, I'm coming for you. I don't know how many more days it'll be before I get banned from the sub. No, I'm trying to put very civil posts on there, just to help people, and get people the fuck off of there. But you want to talk to people you trust, That's one reason I coach and counsel people, is because the people who come to me trust me, and I trust them because I'm a real fucking person, And if you have friends who are into this stuff, or you have met people over the years online that you trust, communicate with them, via email or whatever. Or you can talk on the phone or text or whatever it may be. That's great. But I'm so skeptical about like a community, which is like what Cecilia and I were discussing, creating like some kind of online community. Because once it gets, I don't know, once people start talking, the groupthink when it comes to this new age shit is so prevalent and fucking stupid. Oh my gosh. Like, it's just crazy. Like, because your spiritual practice and like how you're applying these various manifesting ideas is so subjective. It's so based upon who you are as an individual and your sensibilities, and that's a great thing. All of these positive attributes that are uniquely your own. And then you can kind of, use and meld this information in the way that works best for you, which takes practice and patience. And if you can bounce it off people you trust, that's great, right? But it's a very subjective practice, And it's just crazy how people don't see that and think that there's just a certain way to do everything, and it's this dogmatic truth, and that's it. Like I've actually, like I said, I've been reading a lot of Joel Goldsmith recently, reading some Richard Dotz. We did that video the other day about unplugging. I'll put a link above to that video. That stuff, like, the Goldsmith talks about, that Richard Dotz talks about, it lines up so well, in my opinion, with Neville's teachings, right? But on a place like the Neville sub or on YouTube, people they would never seemingly make that connection. They wouldn't. And they would say, oh, no. Dotz is, Dotz is not Neville. You can't, that's different. That's law of attraction. Or Joel Goldsmith? No, that's not Neville. It's insane. And I also think it's just insane that more people don't call this out for what it is, which is why I'm making this video. So yeah, please don't go on the Neville subreddit. Stay off of there. And again, it's unfortunate because there are some very inspirational stories, good stories. For instance, the other day I saw a good short post about someone who doing sats, like just viscerally looping. They manifested $30,000 within a couple days. And I'm pretty sure that story's true, for instance, very inspirational story. But then just the comments and just the general vibe is so insular. You don't want to be insular. You want to be open. You want to be, you. You want to be you. And the people you talk to about this stuff, you want to be able to say, you know what? I was surprised because I felt really scared about this, or I felt really vulnerable, or I felt all this fear and I didn't know why, You want to talk about like the deeper stuff. The weaknesses you have, not necessarily the strengths, and be able to bounce that off of your friend or whoever, right? Someone you trust. You cannot do that on social media when it comes to this stuff. Instead, it becomes a pissing contest. Oh, man. You hear that silence, though, It's all good.